Welcome back to Deep.
Hello darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
You're watching D2 Wrenchworks and DIY, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Today's project, we're going to do a bike build breakdown on this Vitus Carbone 9 Plus. This is a very rare bike, very old too. I believe this one's a 1988, somewhere late 80s. There's several different iterations of this frame. They also did a Carbone 7. The really only big difference is the seat stays back here. This is a two-piece now, which makes it 9 pieces of tubing to make this. 7 for the other. Obviously, this was just one piece, making 1 on each side. Now we have 2 on each side. Anyways, so you get the point. Vitus actually started out in the 1930s. It's been around for a very, very long time. Started out as a steel tubing company. Pretty cool. Very high-end stuff even back then. By the 70s, I guess they'd done so good, they started making their own bike frames. Pretty cool. Actually, with this bike is first version, a 979 Vitus. Came on the pro level in the 70s with a guy named Sean Kelly. You may know of him, old famous cyclist. He took the 979 and just crushed the Vuelta de España. This got a lot of attention to Vitus, and even though we probably don't know much about them now, back then they were one of the best. They were at the forefront of basically everything. They had great aluminum frames as well in the 70s. Then one of the first people to come out with carbon, Kestrel did. I know there's some, really not the first, but one of the first. And not only was it one of the first, but it was one of the best. This one specifically, one of the lightest ones of the 80s that you could find. I would say easily probably ranked one of the #1 bikes. In my opinion, you might have other people argue it, but according to history, this is a very well received bike. Some really cool things I like about it is there's a strange look to the tubing here. It has like this gold lined flake stuff. And what this actually is inside of the carbon tubing, it's Kevlar infused. Pretty wild. They found a way to use the Kevlar and the carbon to make it much stronger and still keep it pretty light. So as compared to my other bikes, usually I would make it a more modern build. Maybe it's like a 7-speed frame shifter bike, and I'll pull those off and convert it to a normal STI with the integrated shifters up here. Maybe make it a 10-speed or something like a carbon truck I did. Check that video out if you haven't seen it. But this one, straight budget. I just really want to see if anybody picked up some cheap frame like this. The vintage stuff is everywhere. People really, they don't have much love for it now because in the cycling world, the best is the new stuff, but I'm not into that. This is not, we're a budget channel, so I wanted to show just how you could DIY with, this is really a parts bin build. It's budget can be. I stole these brakes off of my trainer bike. I have a video on that too, Nishiki Maricopa. So, it really goes to show you this crank is off of another project bike, a Cannondale I did. Front derailleur is actually off of that Cannondale. This rear derailleur is just some old Shimano 105 that I had sitting around. It's actually a 6 or 7 speed. If you did find something like that, you could still use it on 8 speed, even 9 speed, 10 speed as well. So a good way to recycle old part like that. But being Shimano 105, third best that it made, so great rear derailleur. I'd rather that than a newer Sora, for example. Still a very high quality piece, surprisingly strong shifts and everything. I was impressed. It did really well for what we're going for here. And like I said, this is Shimano 600. This is what they called Shimano Ultegra before Ultegra was a thing. So second best that they made right there. For the handlebars, just some traditional aluminum SR Sakai customs, nothing super crazy. The levers are actually some Shimano Exage. This is just mid-range stuff. Not really anything super fancy. Like I said, you can find it anywhere. You probably have a friend that would just give it to you. Like I said, a lot of people don't find this stuff super useful. And it's still, this bike actually came with full Dura-Ace. It's kind of crazy. It's full Dura-Ace 7400. So, it did have the best. It was literally the best back then. So, I ended up actually selling the headset to offset a little bit of it. I got a good deal on this. I only paid $100 for the frame set, so I was super stoked on that. I almost sold the headset to cover the frame. So, of course, you know, we had to do the Origin 8 Pro headset. Awesome headset. It looks beautiful. The black looks sick too. It has a very neat laser etching on the top and bottom of it. Great bearings, sealed cartridge bearings. You just pop in and out. If you want to throw some ceramics in there later down the road, super easy to do that. And it's crazy light. Even though this one's nutted and typically the threaded ones are a little heavier, still as light as the Chris King grip nut headset. So Chris King's is 150 new. This is $30 new off Amazon. I'll link in the description. I swear I put these things on almost everything I can. They're great. Origin 8, you see me out there, throw your boys some sponsors. Come on. I'm not even making any money off this stuff. But alright, so let's keep it moving. As I said, nothing fancy. These are actually off of like a Trek 1000. I even forgot I had these shifters. These are, I think it's SLR 400 is the part number to these. And this is actually the Shimano Sora. So we have everything kind of all over the spectrum here. You know, nothing crazy expensive. Like, this is a 27.2 C post. I could have put a carbon one in there. Unfortunately, I don't have one, but it would be neat to have something like a little more fancy in there if you really wanted to. But the way the bike's set up right now, I did upgrade the brakes to normal brake cartridge holders that you could just like undo this bolt and slide them in and out. Gives a little better stopping power than the cheap, crappy pads it came with. And even though the wheel set isn't that great either, this is like actually similar to what comes new on a Trek 1000, kind of lower end, but still decent road wheels. They're still going to be, you know, Alex, they're still going to be strong, easy to fix the spokes. I mean, it is what it is, you know, they're good budget wheels. You would lose a lot of weight if you did put something nicer on, like maybe some Shimano 105 wheels, some Mavic Open Pros, etc., something like that you find more mid-range. It would definitely make a big difference in the weight. But still, the bike is like 18.8 pounds or something like that, as it is just under 19 pounds. For something this old, and it still has an aluminum fork on it, this is like pretty good performance-wise. Like, you can't really ask for too much more. We do, you know, we have the 8-speed in the back. The cassette and all of that is, you could go up to 10-speed if you wanted to. You could also get 10-speed frame shifters, but keeping it the way it is, 8-speed's cheap. It lasts longer than the more 10-speed, thinner chain, thinner cassette. Those wear a little faster. And this stuff is just dirt cheap. I think this chain is like $10 on Amazon, brand new, and it's a KMC or a Shimano. So, I mean, you know, the stuff you can get for this. I put new pulleys in this rear derailleur too. I think I bought the pulley set for like $15. So, I mean, you could really just build something like this super cheap on a budget and still find stuff that's going to perform well for you. It's still going to be some pretty good lightweight, you know, under 20 pounds is pretty good for, you know, vintage carbon bike. I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. I got a neat little Aero seat post on here. And that's pretty much it. That concludes the build, guys. Just wanted to show you this, point out a little bit of the cool history that Vitus has. And actually, there's another, I think it's like Modern Bike Parts or something. There's another collector that I've seen on the internet, and they actually have one of these in their museum, just to show you, like, it's kind of neat to see stuff like this. And I chose to put it back on the road, so it's gonna be back out there. It's still something you can compete with and do some races if you felt like it. It's still, you know, it's old, but it's still got another 20-30 years if you don't crash it or damage anything, and it looks cool. I really dig it's kind of a bummer that, you know, the decals are a little worn out, but I really dig the Kevlar infused and this like kind of gold look to it. I put a gold bottle cage on there, do some yellow bar tape to kind of like match the flare, and pretty good. Probably the easiest shifters to set up in the whole world. All you do is run this cable, and this little tiny bit of shift cable is all I use. The one thing I would do, if I did keep this bike, because it actually is my size, I was thinking about keeping it, I would change these out to Tektros. I got big hands. I like that the lever comes out a little bit more, which gives you more stopping power, and the body of the lever is actually much bigger. I'll have a picture of these in the description as well. Tektro actually makes these levers in black and brown, so it really complements like that vintage look. If you wanted to throw some brown tires on here, some skin walls, whatever you want to call them, it would be perfect to have the brown ones, and like I said, they're much more comfortable body-wise and everything. And you can check that out in the description as well. And please do not forget to subscribe, guys. I appreciate you watching, and we are almost at 400. I would love to hit 1,000 by the end of this year. The quicker I get there, the more money I start to bring in, and the stuff I could actually put, you know, the channel makes money, I put it back in, make more videos and content with it. So thanks for watching again. Thanks for watching again. Have a good day, guys. Thanks. Bye.